You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
You don't do that in Fallout.
The wasteland is the post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to leave the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waves. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waves.
Hello and welcome to the 511th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks tonight. I've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
And also Jess. What's up, Jess?
Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
Tonight on the show, we will be going over our gameplay on the top and move into some game time. We'll continue on with our fabulous generic Sody Pop game we've been playing, Mountain Dew or Mountain Don't. Then we've got a Fallout terminal velocity from some weirdo named Atomic Andrew. Who the fuck is that dude? Then we'll get into a whole slew of Iguana Bits. Looks like we're digging into a little bit of that new update that will be coming out soon. So everyone get your reels, get your tackle boxes out, get your floppy hats out with all the little hooks and bobbers on it. Let's get silly. Get out your waders. Let's just start wearing them in public too. You know, not just when we're gaming. Like I'm gonna be wearing waders while I'm gaming, right? Isn't that the point? Get your fishing.
Yeah, well, you know, you can deal with anything in your waders. Wear them out the house.
Okay. Well, I've got this cool new battery power thing where I can plug my Xbox and make a remote, right? So I'm just gonna get a boat, go out in the middle of the lake, and play some Xbox, fish in Fallout 76, on the boat. Sound like a good idea?
Remote play with your phone. You can stream it.
Good use of resources. Then we got some shouts on our way out the door. So why don't we roll right into it, see what everybody's been getting into this week, and check and see if Jess has had a chance to play any video games. Jess, what you been into?
So this week has been not a lot of gaming, but what I did play was mostly Fallout.
Nice. Did you have play practice or something? What are you doing?
I mean, you know, I actually did have play practice. I got a few things happening, but really, the season is ending. You know, as we realized last week, the season is ending in a week and a half. Let's get in there and grind a little. So I did get in, and I'm like, can I finish the season? And then I started, doing my weeklies. And I was telling Solior the other night, I think after a Gato thing, I'm just going to get on. I'm going to do my weeklies. I'll grind it out. Maybe I'll end up buying the rest because I have a couple of seasons ended up buying the balance and the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I have only previously not finished one season.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was either season 4 or 5 that I didn't finish. It was a long, long while back. Well, I don't think I'm going to finish this one because I was in there. I did the grinding. I fought some aliens. I did my weeklies. I got up to 81, 82. To get to the next actual unlock level in the season board, I need it's 89, 91, and 100 for the last pages. I looked at them. The only stuff I really want is on 100. What
are the items? What are the items?
Well, off the top of my head, you got some dumb stuff. Like you've got the goo splotches. I've told you before, I think this season is gross. I don't need glowing slime splotches on my walls.
Oh, come on.
I don't need buckets of goop and slime cakes. I don't need a slime cake. In fact, I have no pretty ghouls in my life. They're perfectly respectable ghouls. None of them like slime cake. This season is not. Season was not for me.
This is for the feral ghouls, not the non-ferals.
It's for the messy ghouls, I'm sorry, you don't do that in Fallout. But anyway, but there are some cool things. There was the skeleton bodies, and then there are some cool skeleton parts at level 100, like posable stuff. And there's always the scoreboard poster, which since they switched to seasons a year ago, and it's only been a year now, by the way. I think season 17 or 18 was the first. We're just finishing 20. So yeah, it was 17. This is our 4th season with a new system. And I don't love it as much. I really like the scoreboard. I like the story. I like the radio plays. I liked everything about it. I like the little pop in the bubbles. Pop in the bubbles as you go on the board. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I like when people would save all of them for the end and then pop all their
Oh my
bubbles at once.
That was like, you look at it, it just made me like anxious. I just wanted to pop them all right then. I don't know how anyone could wait to pop their bubbles when you didn't do that. Did you, Andrew, ever?
I wasn't adamant about popping them as soon as they became available. Like I would do them in big batches, you know. The only ones I made sure that I got immediately were the score boost percentages or whatever that one was, right?
hmm
Yeah.
So people in chat, I got a couple people saying that they like the slime cake, almost defensively, as though they need to defend their slime cake. You know what? I'm sorry.
Does it
If I pretend
produce?
it's some, I
Sorry, go ahead.
was gonna say if I pretend it's a Mountain Dew cake, maybe I would like it a little bit better.
Just pretend, because it's probably similarly colored. Does it produce like the birthday cake? Does this produce like slices of cake that replenish some
I don't know.
meter
I haven't
or
earned
something?
it, or if I have earned it, I haven't redeemed it because I don't
You know
want it.
everything though. Even if you haven't gotten stuff, you always know what stuff does.
Usually, but I kind of put on blinders around this stuff
you're,
this season.
you're ignoring it on purpose. You're like, no, fuck this cake.
Oh, guess what it does? It replenishes HP, makes sense, and rads. Well, that's why I don't need it.
So, yeah,
Because I'm not a
you're
ghoul.
not a ghoul.
I tried the ghoul thing. It's cool. I like the new perks. Like, there's a lot to it if you want to play a ghoul. Actually, I feel like most of my friends have gone ghoul. Great. I'm not going ghoul. It's not a long-term
You did it
choice for me.
on an old roundtable character, right? Was it Ron?
Yeah.
Who'd you do it on?
I was doing it on Ron, but I didn't actually. I didn't end up
Okay.
doing it on anybody. After the PTS and got in there and did it, like, oh, well, I'm gonna do it on Ron. I'm gonna ghoulify Ron or Hard Knock. You know, the guy I was doing for this roundtable we just
Right.
finished. I didn't. I haven't. I haven't had as much of an urge to jump in and play this season and grind, which is why I'm behind. I mean, I got enough in. You know, I've been playing semi-regularly. In fact, like we were talking last episode, I didn't even talk about like the little camp building competition that I jumped in on and a few things like that. Like, I mean, I'm still playing here and there, but yeah. So long story short, I did the challenges for the week. I got up into the 80s, and I'm like, I could grind some XP, get a few more levels, buy the rest, but it's not worth the 2,000 atoms to me. It's probably what it would be. You know, $20 to get a poster, get some posable bones, add more items to my build menu, which is already too damn long.
Let's not be hasty here. What posable bones? What is how do these work?
They're super cool. So like,
Yeah, that intriguing. That caught my ear.
yeah, you can get all kinds of little parts. That's at the end of the season at level 100. You get, you know, the femurs and hip bones and just basically just like skeleton parts that you can pose and put it around how you want.
Actually, how I want, like how it used to be, how you could drop stuff and position stuff, or
I don't think it's quite that good.
Yeah,
No, I
okay.
mean they play some camp mode still. So, you know, again,
Womp womp.
I don't have it, but there's some cool stuff like that. And I'm moderately tempted, but if I was running for Congress in Georgia, I belong to the camp menu is too damn big party. Because I do not need anything more in my camp menu. I mean, actually, I do. I need lots of cool stuff. But, you know, and that's why I'm going to save my atoms too, because I want to get maybe a fishing hat, you know, more when they get that stuff you were talking about when the season starts next week. So, yeah, that's my decision.
It's important to get the polarized lenses in your glasses, everybody, so you can see through the water surface to actually underneath. Otherwise, you're just going to get a glare. Really important.
Oh, shoot. Rando just reminded me of the Glow of the Ghoul projector. That's at 102, I think. It's a film projector. You know how they've given us a movie projector already with the Vault-Tec stuff that it projects?
Right. Yeah.
There's one for the Glow of the Ghoul movie. And it puts up, you know.
Is that the movie from Far Harbor? No.
This is actually a new one that they made up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a new one that they made up for the season. But that is pretty cool. There are some cool things. But I unlocked my own personal nuclear reactor. And I mean, that's exciting, right?
That's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. You know, you can drop into things too. Makes a really cool I don't know. I'll figure it out what I'm going to do with it.
I think
But then there are bundles. There are like, you remember that red satellite bundle that I mentioned? I mean, that's 1,800 atoms
God damn.
for the cool Fallen satellite bundle, but it's got all the space stuff in it. It's got that new emote, which have you tried the new boxing emote or the spacewalk emote?
No, I haven't even logged in a good long while.
I
need to
told you
get
about the
some
spacewalk
emotes.
emote a couple weeks ago. That's fun. That's really fun. You're like bouncing and jumping like you're on a spacewalk. But for all them Starfield fans, 76, few of us. But the new one, they added a boxing emote. Like, hello, I need that. But anyway, so yeah, I'd rather
like
put
the
my atoms into
fisticuffs,
those.
like put up your dukes.
Exactly. Put up your dukes. Get a few punches in.
Sweet.
It's fun. So my 76 play was grinding the weeklies, few dailies, and then saying, I don't, not going to make myself do the rest. So I'm now going to have 2 seasons unfinished. That's the plan.
Does that hurt you deep down?
No, it
You're
feels a
okay
little bit
with
like
that?
end of an era. I've taken breaks before, and I kind of knew I was on one. Outside of the round table this last season, I was playing play with the round table stuff, but then the near the end of the round table switch seasons, and I'm like, I'm just doing round table stuff. I'm not seasoning.
Not seasoning. A little Lowry's on that.
Yeah, a little less seasoning. I'm going plain this time. There are other games to play, right? We've had so many this year already.
Well, speaking of which, what else did we get into?
So I hardly played any Oblivion this week. Sadly, after
Gasp.
making the Oblivion feed the last 4 weeks and Ray doing 100 characters, my character, I took a bit of a pause. I didn't get a whole lot further, other things to do. But I found out, remember I talked last week about how they had just added a day or two before the new retro games to Game Pass that you could play?
Yeah.
Well, and that I thought a few of them are fun, but they weren't the highest quality. So I tried playing a few more, and I do have to say the Pitfall is good. A couple of things in there are good, and they want to add to it, but it turns out one of the reasons why they weren't playing great and a little bit sluggish, and I heard other people talk about that, about how like the reaction time seemed off, you're not even actually playing them on your system. What they actually did for these retro
Cloud
games,
streaming.
they licensed another company already doing them. They licensed another company already doing them as a cloud-based system.
Oh.
So when you log in to play these games, hold on, I want to bring it up and actually find the name again. Anyway, when you log in to play, they're actually hosted by another system that you open the front end with the challenges and all that Xbox stuff, but when you actually play them, you're playing in the cloud. So they're not installing these tiny little games that would take no space on your drive locally. They're installing a client to play them in the cloud. And you know what's worse? Is I and a lot of people were actually doing the Xbox Cloud Play to play them, because with Game Pass, you don't need to install a lot of things now. You can just play on the cloud, which is fun. So we were playing in the cloud, on our system, logging and playing in the cloud to Microsoft and their servers. And those servers were logging in and they were hooking up in the cloud to this other company. We were playing through 2 layers of uninstalled cloud to even play these retro games.
So you seem to think that it's going to get smoother. What's happening there?
Oh,
No,
I don't think it's going to get
still
smoother. I think
It's still going to be
stupid.
shitty.
I'm just, when I found out how they were doing it, I was just shocked.
Now you just know why they're shitty.
Yeah,
There you
exactly.
go.
Exactly. Now
Cloud,
I understand.
cloud in a cloud.
But I mean, and you could make it worse. Say you put on those hip waders, you out in the boat, and you were playing with your phone remotely to your system that was logging into the cloud, Microsoft, who was logging into the cloud to play these retro games. You could,
Well, that's the only real way to fish, is to get out there in the river with your remote gaming system and really get the reel in the water, the virtual water.
So yeah. Anyway, that's why it's not great. It bothers me when I found that out, because there have been, like I mentioned, a number of really cool retro releases. I mentioned Atari 50 and Rare Replay, of course, but when I was looking up information on it and saying, like, well, what are they using for this? Why are these like this? I was reminded about, and some of you guys might remember this, Microsoft Playroom. Do any of you guys remember Playroom who are listening? Hopefully, maybe. If you've been an Xbox gamer since the 360 days, it was near the end of the 360, early on in the Xbox One generation. Came out this thing called Playroom, and it was a virtual arcade, and it came with a few games. You go in, you could actually walk around the arcade, and you see different cabinets. You click on the cabinet, and it loads you into a game.
That's
and they were
fucking
actually
cool.
there were some pretty cool versions of the licensed game there, and it wasn't just Activision. Like this is Activision and Sierra stuff on Activision. It was various retro games that were really pretty fun. I enjoyed them. They did a number of expansions. They kept adding cabinets to it, and then they discontinued it probably, I don't know when. It was the mid-2010s. Anyway, it was around for a good 4 to 6 years, I think, and then it just went away. They stopped licensing the games. They shut it down, but it was great. Why didn't they just bring that back instead of this nonsense? Anyway, that is my complaint. And I just thought I'd let people know if you tried it and you were wondering why it ran like that. That's why it does.
What did you play? You said you played Pitfall. Which one? 1 or 2 or both?
Pitfall 1, I believe. Yeah.
So how does the competition thing work? Are you just comparing scores to other gamers, and you're just
There's
posting
a
it
high
on?
scoreboard.
Yeah.
There is a high scoreboard, like in a lot of arcade type deals. That's the biggest thing they added for this front end was high scores, but also challenges can be set up. So you can set up challenges.
Speed
The
run
community
stuff
can
or
set up
whatever.
challenges. Yep.
Neat.
And so that's pretty neat. And you can get achievements for doing that. So I mean, of course, I set one up. I set up a challenge. I played a few things.
Nice.
But-
Wait, you can set up challenges? That's fun.
Yeah, you can set up community challenges, like, can you beat this score?
Okay,
Blah,
now
blah,
it's
blah.
sinking in. That's cool.
Yeah, and I enjoy pole position. That's a fun one.
Oh, Pole Position was a sweet ass game.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I
So,
probably
I don't-
haven't played it since back in the 80s, though. I don't know if I still have that opinion. Back then, it was awesome.
I enjoyed it. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed the sit down one
And
too, where you could
Spy
actually.
Hunter. Do you remember Spy Hunter?
Spy Hunter was great.
So fucking good.
Okay, I've got the list up now, so I can remember what I was looking at. So they are powered by AntStream Arcade. So it's a cloud service that was already out there for a couple of years. AntStream Arcade is what they're powered by. But yeah, the games I liked Fishing Derby was actually fun. Practicing my Fallout 76
Fishing Derby is an excellent game. Fuck those sharks for stealing your fish.
That
Goddamn
damn shark was always
sharks.
in the way. Fishing Derby was good.
Fishing
Grand
Derby's
Prix was
awesome.
good.
Grand Prix is pretty good.
Yeah, the Checkers not so great. Pitfall was good. Something called Atlantis that was weird. Kaboom was awesome. That was fun.
Is Kaboom
yeah.
like Missile Command? What is Kaboom like? I forget.
I think you're a guy carrying around a bomb. If I remember correctly, you're running through with a bomb. You
Right.
gotta avoid things.
Yes, now I remember it. Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot to it. But so what did I play? More retro games until I got annoyed with them, and Fallout 76, and that was my week in games. Besides that, had our ghoul fights at the Gata. We finally did our ghoul fight stream we had planned on. So this is like I was talking about, like the cat fight nice, but now with ghouls. We did the official one. It was a lot of fun. Shout out to Rando actually for winning. He's right here in chat with us. Shout out for winning. That was awesome, and a lot of other friends for competing. Sulior was there, of course, and a number of others. It was a good time. And yeah, but besides that, I recorded a Starfield Lorecast, edited a Dames. Hey, new Dames out tomorrow, guys. I had to get it out. I'm still going to. Andrew, okay, wait, hold on. You're the arbiter here.
Yes.
So I said if Dames wasn't caught up by June, that I would eat a bowl of boiled Brussels sprouts.
I love poppers.
Not fried, boiled. Ray agrees that's gross. I know it's gross.
Totally gross.
But
I
you
just
even
love
like them
cabbages
boiled.
of all variety.
If I get the second to last episode out, but I don't have the one from March out, does that count as caught up? It doesn't, does it? I'm not caught
No.
up.
You got to
Oh,
eat a whole
Jess.
punch bowl full of rotten, steamed, sour. We're gonna pickle them first. What are we gonna do to them? Got to do something gross to them first to make them actually just normal. They're probably gross enough. for
Andrew.
you, right?
Yeah, they're Brussels sprouts. They don't need to be grosser.
Yeah. Anything else you do to them will probably
Break it
help.
better, right?
Like literally one of God's worst foods. I am unimpressed by Brussels sprouts.
I
Really don't like them.
can't believe people don't love Love Brussels. They're the best.
All right, so here's the thing you got to do to make them really gross.
Okay, I'm ready.
No
Sounds
salt.
excited. Oh, no salt. Come on.
No salt in the boiling water.
Can I do vinegar? No vinegar, no salt?
No, just water.
Frozen Brussels sprouts too, right? Those are the best.
At this point, I don't think that matters.
Oh no. Chat says no salt, unthinkable. Oh goodness. So okay, yeah. So anyway, there should be new games out tomorrow. I had a busy week with other things, but not enough gaming. And apparently this weekend is gonna be busy with eating Brussels sprouts. So I'll be sure and take a picture, show you guys. Those of you who care in Discord, who want to see me get my just punishment, my just dessert.
It really, you've got nobody to blame but yourself.
It's true. It's true. I have literally watched 2 seasons of Elementary over the last month that could have been editing and putting out podcasts.
You know what?
And you also could have not said anything
Oh,
because nobody knows when you record.
You also have all day tomorrow.
but yeah, tomorrow I'll get out the second to last one.
Yeah.
But you think I can finish editing 2 in a day? Because the other
you
one's
do a
most
power
of them,
you
but
do
not
a
full-length.
power editing session, knock both of them bitches out, and you're golden.
Okay, y'all,
No.
stay tuned.
No sprouts.
Yeah, and you can set a publish date for the very last one, and as long as you publish it tomorrow, you're golden.
Ray, I
how,
like
how do
this.
how do we know that is proof though? She could just lie.
I will
Screenshot.
send
She
photographic
no.
screenshotted
Yeah,
proof.
She's too
She'll
good
do a
at Photoshop. She
No,
could
no,
fake that.
I 100% trust Jess's integrity. If she says she posted it,
She can doctor the
posted.
shit out of anything.
This is my
dude.
halo. You can't
Yeah.
see it, but it's there. I would never.
I mean, I am down for just about anything that will stop you from eating boiled Brussels sprouts.
Well, thank you, Ray. Always looking out for me. That's Ray, everybody. Thank you, Ray. So we'll see what happens. But, I don't want to talk anymore about this. Let's go on and hear more about games. What have you guys been playing?
We could talk about the episode of the Butcher Baker Candlestick Maker in Space
Ooh.
that I've been sitting on for a month.
Oh, why? Is it an egg? Is it gonna hatch?
I guess, I don't know.
Inertia can be hard sometimes. There are, especially when you have a little bit too much to do. You got to decide what you're doing, and sometimes having too many things to do makes it hard to choose just one.
Yeah.
Yep.
The bulk of my week was spent not gaming. I have been working on my new Paludarium, and so that's been occupying a bulk of my time is working on that.
What's going on with that?
So this past week I finished all of the carving. So the first thing you do is you spray foam, the expanding foam.
Yeah, I remember you said something about this last time. You do.
Yeah. And then you go about carving. So you have to, the spray foam ends up with all of these big bulbous, pieces that have like a skin on them. And so the silicone won't stick to that. So you have to shave that off. And plus you want to carve it and make it look like rocks and all that good stuff. So it's a lot of carving and, coming up with, okay, so what is this going to look like when it's completely caked with cocoa fiber, so making all kinds of little details and everything. And then, I need to carve a spot right here because I'm going to have a branch that goes in later. And
Are you a skilled carver, Ray?
you get a lot of practice.
Can you
because you
do
get a lot of carving.
a Fallout Mount Rushmore in your paludarium, like carve some faces into some foam? Like,
I mean, I probably could, but I
that'd be so
won't.
sweet. Oh, come on.
So, and then as you're going, you're I don't have like a set. The first one I did, I actually sketched out exactly what it was going to look like and everything. This one I'm kind of playing with some new ideas and trying some new things, and well, that didn't work, so now we have to go to this next thing, and so it's been a lot more time consuming. So I've probably only got maybe 25 or 30 hours of gaming in this week.
Gosh, that's it?
I know.
That's usually a
Very-
good week for me when I'm
very
focused is 20 to 30 at most. Nice.
I mean, I've only started one new Oblivion character since last show. That's
Okay.
how little I've been playing.
No, that's serious. Okay.
As the adoring fan, has he checked in on you just to be sure you're okay? Like, Ray, we haven't seen you all week, buddy.
Yeah, I don't talk to him
I never have.
because at least in Starfield, he's not that annoying.
No, he's an okay companion in Starfield, for real.
Yeah. And I have been playing a little bit of Starfield. I've started that bounty hunter character, but I'm trying to get, set up, so that I can, be an effective bounty hunter. So I need, doing a lot of weapons research and, ammo research and all that kind of stuff. And so it's a lot of flying back and forth, buying supplies.
So I take it you didn't get a chance to try Watchtower this week since it came out?
No, I'm not sure because I haven't loaded. I have no creations,
Right.
and so I have not worked on getting creations to play nice with my my Vortex. So
That's why you didn't do the Trackers Alliance extra creation either, right? Or the escape creation?
I didn't do the Trackers Alliance because it wasn't that good.
Well, yeah, the second one. I mean, it wasn't. It was okay. I mean, I did it. I thought it was decent. It just wasn't as good as the first quest. But so all the Bethesda creations you haven't done either, aside from Shattered
Correct.
Space. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, if it's not part of the game, I haven't added it. So I have been working on cleaning up my my mods because I've been modding Starfield since before.
Yeah, before the creation kit over a year ago.
Well, even before Vortex accepted any responsibility for modding Starfield.
Oh wow. Okay. So yeah, that's over a year and a half because it'll be a year next week since the creation
I mean,
kit
it was.
announced.
I think it was probably mid-September when Star UI became available.
Mm-hmm.
And so as soon as I saw that, that's when I started modding. So, that was, early to mid-September. So just a week or two after the game was released.
So you've been modding from the start and adding more than subtracting.
And so a lot of it is, stuff that that you had to code into the game. You're putting files in. I've got bat files and all kinds of stuff that runs outside of the usual, mod situations. And I still get messages from Vortex that, it couldn't update all my mods because they have no idea what they are.
Like, these mods are from the before times. We do not understand them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and mods that end up in your my games folder and all kinds of weird stuff like that.
So no, that makes sense. I just thought I'd ask because it's a pretty cool new system. One of these days, you will have
Yeah.
a whole lot of creations to try.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, everything I need is available in Vortex.
It really is. Yeah, the vast majority of creations are also mods, aside from
Yeah.
the official Bethesda ones and a few others.
Yeah, and I don't think I haven't looked in a while, but I don't think any of the official Bethesda ones were anything that I cared about. Um, so this new one from King Gath is probably the one that will tempt me. I still need to see more about what what it adds to the game.
Right. It's a
Um,
whole system. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
But yeah, so my character is still only level 7. I'm also not doing any grinding with him.
Nope.
So he's not level 100 already.
No more grinding. Yeah, you've ground enough.
I've done that. I'm over it.
And that includes the Oblivion character too, which I'm surprised to hear you even started a new one since you were going to try to start doing stuff with this high level
Yeah,
one.
yeah. It was very boring.
Yeah, it's too powerful. It's no fun.
Yeah, it isn't.
No, that's
Um,
fair.
So, but I do have an idea that's kind of tickling in the back of my mind. So I'll have to see. I want to try a level 1 character, one that never
Never levels, never sleeps.
progresses, past level 1.
The Andrew playthrough.
Yeah.
Awesome. No, I mean I do have to wonder what the game is like when you go to like these final battles, these boss battles, when you become the Archmage of the Mages Guild at level 1.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, because the thing is, so it'll have to be a combat only character, because you can't add to your magic pool
hmm
without leveling.
Well, that's a
Your
good point. You won't
intelligence.
have enough. Yeah, you won't have enough points.
Yeah. So everything will level, through skills. So all your skills will level, but you won't ever get any more. You won't get any more strength, so you don't have any more, carry capacity either.
Right. You could become super dominant via skills only in that case.
Yeah. So we'll see how that works out.
hmm
It's still just in concept, but yeah, it is inspired by Andrew's first playthrough of Oblivion back when we did the round table, and he just he says, "Okay, I've finished."
Level 4.
Pretty impressive.
That's the way
So,
to do it.
Starfield character, you mentioned building an outpost network in the notes. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I I typically don't do anything other than individual outposts, and so I wanted to work on having link the cargo links to the various systems.
Right.
Very frustrating system.
It really is a frustrating system. Have you noticed that when you're in build mode, at least now, you can see what the links do without having to go to the console?
No.
Okay, so you can. If you're in outpost building mode and you go to the overhead fly view, just hover over any cargo link. It'll say incoming blah 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 from where and outgoing blah 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 to where, which really helps. At least it helped me keep track because some of my systems have been set up for over a year. I go to move things. I'm like, wait, what am I actually affecting and changing here?
Yeah. Yeah. So the next thing I have to look at is so do you have to build? So everything is going to be going to my my Aquila outpost.
Right.
So for every other planet that I have stuff sent to Aquila, do I have to build a separate cargo link pad?
You have to have, yeah, you need one cargo link pad for each one. But you can only have so many incoming. So if Aquila is going to be getting stuff from more than 3 systems, you're going to have at least one that piggybacks to another system and then combines their resources.
Okay. I think I'll be able to get away with only 3.
Okay. Yeah, 3 is the big thing, Then you have multiple resources coming in. It's still a messy system. It still isn't as good as it should be. It does seem to prioritize some elements over others and will fill up and stop transporting. Yeah, it's not the best.
So, but I kept looking at it. How come nothing's happening? I look in the menu and it shows that, I'm connected to Aquila,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't see any ships. Oh, wait a minute. You have to actually click on Aquila
Oh,
And
so
to
you
make
thought you
it.
hooked it up.
I thought I hooked it up. I had 2 bases. They both said they saw each other, but they didn't automatically start transferring.
Got to make that connection. Yeah, it's not as good as Provisioners, Andrew. It's much more
It
frustrating.
doesn't. Yeah, and the thing is it doesn't tell you.
Hmm.
If it prompted you, if there was a tooltip that says, "Okay, great, you've set this up. Now, do you want to activate this link?"
I feel it could do with a lot of prompts. I'm not saying it needs more menus. We know it has plenty already, but it could do with a few more prompts for sure. And how cool would that be, though? Like, Andrew, can you imagine having Ada on a moon and being like, "You're now Provisioner." You just give her a jetpack. You tell her she's going to be carrying iron from this planet to another, just off into the stars.
It's like, good luck.
Get your Provisioner with her Brahmin,
On,
like Santa
on the
Claus
other
into
side of the
sky.
galaxy. Have fun. Take your time, please.
Wear your radiation suit. Probably a good idea.
So, we'll see. It's nice that you can do it. Thank you, Bethesda, for making that possible.
Yeah. Thank you for the half-ass system, which really a lot of things about Outposts are a little bit on the half-ass side. Apologies, but it really is true compared to other systems in the game, which are much more reliable.
Yeah. Although, it's my own fault for it taking this long for me to actually get into this system of the game.
It's a little better now than it was at start, but they also haven't improved it much. A lot of things in the game, it's better to wait a year, but this not much different.
Yeah. So, but it's been good to be back in space. That's about it. And I did have one very exciting moment yesterday.
Oh.
Oh.
I, started up the computer. I opened up Discord, and I saw that there was a little indicator on my Folon Discord channel that there was new information.
Yes, we talked about it before, so connected to my first Iguana bit.
And I'm like, oh my God, it happened finally. Yes. The new content for Fallout London is finally available. And so I went into the channel and opened, oh yes, it's an announcement. So this has got to be it. I open it up and VR from a third party. Who gives a crap about this?
Not
Frickin'
your
disappointing.
pork pie and beef strudel pudding, blood pudding
Right.
update. No, it is not.
I was so deflated.
I'm sorry. I was so excited when I saw it too. I knew it was something. Unlike you, I mean, you were ready to go. You were ready to go. I'm just like, oh, full on news. Excellent. Let's see what it is. But yeah, I
Yeah.
did not expect it to be VR. That was a surprise.
I look every morning. I look to see, is today the day that I'm gonna get new Fallout London content.
Is something imminent? Like they have something.
Well, according to
That
the
they've
announcement
leaked.
they made in December.
It's been imminent for a while. They
That's
actually
half
just
a damn
released.
year ago. Good lord.
They've just released their 5th behind-the-scenes update that they've been doing privately for Patreon members and backers. And so they've been doing, each of the departments have done one. And Prilladog just did his about, the project management and what's been happening with that, so it's been neat to see these different things from different departments about art and sound and various things, but they're just doing this to bide their time until they're ready for this big announcement. And it's got to be close. They've said it was close. They're planning on getting 3 out this year. I'm now thinking it might only be 2 at the rate they're going. But we'll see. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, I was so bummed.
But that wraps up your gameplay.
It
Don't be
does.
bummed, Ray. Alrighty. Let's see what I get into this week. I started a new shelter again.
Again.
All right, so you know how I was doing 3s on my rooms, and then last week or a couple weeks ago I decided, the efficiency thing, I was going to go with 2s.
Right, and you said it was much more efficient once you could fit 4 in a row.
Once you could do it. And then I decided, let's go 1s.
No. Are
But-
you trying to do single space rooms? How's that even working?
And we're not going across either. Up and down only.
Now you're just getting weird.
So stupid.
You need a new game.
So stupid. So I have, it's only one, it's an elevator. Like, I haven't even gotten all the way down the side of the thing yet. But it's an elevator shaft, like going all, one room of one kind each going all the way down the side. Like, I'm 3/4 of the way down the one side. I don't even know if, it's so inefficient. Like, it's impossible. People are like constantly dying. Like, it's tough. I might be putting the limits on my on my abilities of the survival mode here. I'm just,
Wait, you did in survival mode too.
Of
Do you have
course,
elevators on both sides?
I don't even play non-survival mode with anything anymore. It's
Well,
like.
Excuse me.
Like
sorry.
it's kind of like Fallout 4, like most times when I'm playing Fallout 4, it's in survival mode these days, just because I got used to it and now I like it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Only way to play now. Almost. Oh,
So
I don't want
anyway,
to get back into Fallout 4.
so we should. But Shelter Towers is going really well. Hopefully I'll report back when I start Spire number 2 next week. Hopefully we'll extend it all the way down. We'll see. Everyone's gonna starve. It's crazy. What else I've been playing? Spellcrafting in Oblivion. I played around with that. Actually, a fair bit. Like a couple of nights in a row, I was really, I did the thing where you save before you go into the room so you can undo stuff and play around and figure it out. And I thought I came up with and it took me forever to figure out the balances and everything. And I thought I found the perfect, this is going to be a great flame spell. Jess sort of talked me through last week and a couple weeks ago you do the weakness to flame in addition to the flame, but the weakness doesn't, the boost doesn't hit until the second actual fireball, so you have to plan for that.
Ray pointed that out.
Pointed that out,
you cast
right.
weakness too.
And so I was putting all that together, and I finally got the balance. It took me a long time for some reason to figure out the sliders and the I'm coming up with the wrong word, but the intensity versus the number of times versus there's 3 or 4 different sliders, and so it took me a good long while to figure all that out. And then when I finally got this is great, this is awesome, it's the good cost and blah blah blah. So I'm like, all right, let's go out in the field and use it and practice it and see how we do. And I throw one fireball, and my whole magic meter is gone. I'm like, oh fuck, god damn it! I didn't even think about the usage of. So I need to make it weaker so that it uses fewer points up front, because you want it. It's like you don't want it to do any damage on the first, or it's not like you don't want it to not do
you
damage,
want it to be cumulative
but
damage. Yeah.
you know what I mean. But you want,
That's what.
you'd rather throw more fireballs on the back end after the weakness thing engages.
Well,
so
that's why I mentioned I
so
like
it's
the damage over time, because it costs less too. So, you do your 20% weakness, then you do,
So the
10
intensity
damage
or
for over 2 seconds.
magnitude? What's that word? What word do they use? It's intensity or magnitude or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is magnitude.
It's just like,
Yeah, magnitude is for area.
I have that
ones, definitely.
way too high. I need to back that down to almost like 20-30% instead of 80-90%. And then so I can get more shots off. Right. I think that's the one that is expending all my magicka mana. What do they call it? I don't even know.
Magicka. Yeah.
Magicka.
You're right in one.
So back to the drawing board with that, but and I was just, I can't believe I didn't go out and see what they did. It took me so long to figure out the sliders that I should have just like tinkered with it for a little bit and then gone out and seen what the effects were and then actually figured everything out. But I sat there and figured out all the sliders without actually putting them into practice, so I wasn't actually sure what the effects were going to be out in the field. And
that's the second part.
It was a failure.
It's
Epic failure.
magic is an applied science. It's
Oh my
only theoretical
God.
until you get out there.
You gotta practice. You gotta practice your magic, guys.
Yeah, there's a little counter in the lower left corner that tells you how much
Is that how many
magic
fireballs?
how much
Or-
it's going to cost to cast the spell.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
tell me actually knowing how much magic I have. I'd have to.
I mean,
look
you check ahead of time. You just
I
see what your magicka
know.
is at. So like, you've got, because it's double your intelligence is your base magicka, right? Is it double your intelligence? It's double your something. Double your willpower, maybe.
Yeah, I meant to
Anyway,
ask about that
double
too
your
because
fun.
double your pleasure. Double my
It's intelligence.
yeah.
Willpower is how fast you recover magicka.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Because I assumed it had something to do with that, but I didn't ever actually look it up, and I wanted to ask you guys, because every time I level up, I wanted to do a mage, so I was just assuming intelligence and willpower were the two that I needed to
Just
be leaning
put-
on.
Andrew,
And so,
just push in your right thumbstick when you're on the menu where you're choosing, and there's a little pop-up tool. You got to have those pop-up tool tips happening. It'd be like, this helps, swords and maces. This will help your fatigue recover faster. This is your maximum magic. It says all that right on the right, little pop-up tip. You just have to
I
push the thumbstick.
I need to push my thumbstick.
You need to push the thumbstick.
But
And you need to check your
yeah,
mana.
you should
Check my what?
Yeah.
Magicka,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. I thought you said check my mail. I was like, what?
You've got
put 5 points into intelligence and willpower until you got those to 100.
Yeah, that's what I have been doing, and I get there's 2 points left over each time. I've just been putting those into
Yeah.
speed just so I can run away.
But don't neglect endurance occasionally. If your endurance is under 50, you kind of want to get it to at least 50, I think.
Is that a hit points, I assume? And is
That's
that
where
how
your
that
hit
works?
points come from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else have you been playing?
Oh, sorry. What else have I been playing? Spellcrafting, fast travel. I wanted to. I can't remember what it's called. I wanted to call it Proud Spire Manor, but I know that's not what it's called. The
Close.
Feldspar, not Feldspar. I don't. What the hell is that place called?
Frostcrack?
Frostcrack. Yes, that place. The first time I ran up to it, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome! This place is great!" And then I immediately, if you activate the quest, it says, "Oh, you can furnish this place if you go to the capital city and go to the market
Yep.
and blah blah blah." So I had that activated, so I just fast traveled away without actually checking to make sure that I had established the location. So when I
You
went,
must have
you had
discovered
to
it. If you
just-
walked in,
no,
you discovered it. Please tell me.
no.
You don't. You have to. It depends on which way you come up to it.
It's so annoying. So the second time I approached, right, from the south this time, I found a different location that was a little. So I had been approaching from the, from the east. No, from the west, walking east, from that town, whatever the town is, way up north.
Yeah, near Bruma.
Yeah, Bruma, right. Oh, you're right. That's the one on the Skyrim border. But then I decided to go from the south this time, and I went up and got all the way into the building again. I was like, okay. So I actually saved before I went in, like there's a little campsite or something along the side of the hill, along the walking
that
path.
little one on the way up. Yeah.
And I was like, pulled up my map, looking around. There's not even a logo. Like I was expecting there maybe to be like a little logo that how they're hollow until you discover them, then they pop, make bigger, and then they fill in. I was expecting to see I didn't even see any sort of logo. I'm like, what the hell? Do they make you actually trek to this goddamn place every time?
Did you have it off?
So
Did
I was
you
like,
have
oh
the
well.
symbols off?
No, so I went back to town again and bought more stuff so I could have I found out that you have to like buy the scroll or whatever and learn the spell in order to put more spells together. So that was going back and forth a little bit, but each time I was I had somehow missed the place going up the mountain that is the fast travel spot location. I don't know how. I approached
It's right
it from
on the road.
I approached it from the east, approached it from the west, approached it from the south, and you can't approach it from the north. So like I traveled everywhere, and finally the fourth time that I approached the place, I was like, there has to be some sort of thing. So I backtracked down the mountain, down both. There's like a path that leads down like a bridge, across the bridge and down. So I went that way, then I went the other way too. And finally something popped like, a couple hundred yards away from the actual entrance. And I was like, oh, finally. But seriously, it took me five trips, like running from Bruma or like, the town down south.
It is pretty far away from the actual building itself.
It is. I was shocked.
Which is the most annoying thing about the place is that
you have to run up every
time
time.
You have to run up the hill every single time.
It's
you
why
fast
our
travel, too.
friend Michael prefers Stump Life. I still can't believe that. It's like
I use Stump for every single character. Every
Y'all.
single one.
That's like paying for a nice condo on the second floor and sleeping in the gutter because you don't want to go up the stairs. Like, come on.
No, it's not. The Stump is perfectly clean. It's dry. It's quiet. It's a comfortable little area.
You get chipmunk friends.
If you want, you can sleep in the gutter because there's a sewer grate on the opposite side of the garden.
For those
and you
occasions.
can go down and there's a bedroll down there.
The bedroll
Fancy.
and the sewer.
So you have a bed and a storage, and it's right there.
Is it easier to get into a sewer than into your tower?
Yes,
And a drainage trough to wash your hair.
because when you go down the sewer, you're right there by the bed.
I can't
I do
argue with your
remember that.
logic.
Yep.
There's no running up the hill, climbing up the stairs, running around to the other stairs,
But the
running up those
view,
stairs.
but the
running
view
up.
and the plants and the
Fantastic.
bed. You've got a bed and you've got an alchemy bench and you've got a cupboard and a chest. Like it's so much nicer.
If you got 10,000 gold, you have those things.
And-
I mean, you will pretty
Yeah,
soon though.
and that's the thing.
Don't forget
You
to
know,
haggle. Don't
the
forget to
Stump-
haggle.
The Stump is free.
Oh, haggle.
The
Yeah.
sewer bed is free.
As it should be. Ray, you're paying for the sewer bed?
You do not charge for the sewer bed.
No, sewer bed is free. Always. Oh goodness. Let's see. Other than my fast travel issues, it was mainly fast travel and spell crafting in Oblivion this week. Other than that, I was playing a lot of the NHL 94 again. Been having a lot of fun
Nice.
with that. And then Jess, I also discovered the retro gaming thing this week. I was like, oh,
Yay.
sweet. So I was playing not Pitfall, but one of my favorite all-time games, Pitfall 2. It's the Lost Caverns.
Is Pitfall 2 better? I should try that one.
I seriously love Pitfall 2. Pitfall is fine, but Pitfall 2 is the game itself is pretty good, but it literally has my all-time favorite game soundtrack. Pitfall 2 is, in my opinion, the best video game music ever recorded.
Ladies and gentlemen, we peaked. We peaked in 82, apparently.
It's
84.
amazing. My brother and I still send the song back and forth to each other every once in a while, just I don't know. It's amazing.
I'm like that about some NES soundtracks, so I get it.
No, it's mind-blowing. Anyway, I have lots of fun with that. I took a screenshot of, when you catch the balloon and you're dropping down the cavern, and spoiler alert. But it's a really good time. I didn't actually beat it. I tried like 3 or 4 times. I was like, this is actually a lot harder than I remember. So, video games used to kick your ass. I know we
They're hard.
talked about that last week or a couple weeks ago.
Especially when you're dealing with lag from the cloud. But I ain't mad.
When you have that added pressure there.
The cloud in the cloud.
Yeah. And let's see. I was disappointed that they didn't have all of the 2600 games from Atari that I wanted. Like,
They're missing a lot. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
only the Activision ones in this set, pretty much. Activision owned.
I was looking for do you remember a game called Montezuma's Revenge?
Oh, yes, for sure.
Fucking
for sure.
loved that game. And I didn't learn until later what that actually was. As a child, I had no idea what Montezuma's Revenge actually meant. So,
That's what happens when you eat slime cake.
That's,
Pretty
that's what
much.
we used to get when we went to Tijuana.
Yeah, when you go to Tijuana and get ice in your beverage. Yeah. So I was disappointed that I couldn't find Montezuma's Revenge, but I did play some Pitfall 2, and I looked around and I didn't see a ton of other things that I really wanted to play. I did play a little bit of what did you say the fishing one was called? And I was like, fuck
Fishing
that.
Derby. Yeah.
Fuck that shark. But that game was so great. I remember, I played that a lot back in the day too. All right, so what else did I play? I put on Wasteland.
Oh, fantastic. So did you actually download and install Wasteland through Game Pass?
Yes, the original. I think I dabbled in 2 or 3 a couple weeks ago. I don't remember which one, but this
I
one
think you
is
dabbled in 2.
this one is like more what I was looking for.
It's a little bit more classic. Yeah, you're doing the remake version of it, right? It's not a
Yeah.
remakester. It's a remake.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's seriously like, I mean, it's a different variation of that first Fallout. You can really see where Fallout pulled pretty much everything.
100%.
Like, the space by space movement, the turn based thing, except for this one is really sort of formatted like the Bard's Tale, where you have a party system. Each person in the party has different abilities. You can assign different weapons to each person in the party and stuff like that. And then Fallout, you could have followers, but there wasn't like as much of a
you weren't doing that much with
menu
it, yeah.
up where it says, this person attacks that monster, does this amount of damage, but has a scroll of the a tally of your battles and all that.
Does the original Wasteland have a full party system then, or just a follower?
No, yeah, it's a full party. Yeah, it's I have 4 or 5. I think 4 people with me right now, and it's not me. I think it's just I don't think you create a character. I think it's just you're in a bar and get 4 people together and go. So I just dabbled with that. I don't know, half hour, maybe like that.
Awesome.
But it really scratched the same itch that the Bard's Tale did. It's very kind of similar to that with the battle, but the movement around the space by space is sort of like the first Fallout game. So it was a kind of a fun mishmash of Bard's Tale and the first Fallout game. It's really cool.
Turns out you like those isometric classics.
I do.
It's funny because I was going to look, because after your Bard's Tale disappointment and getting murder-rated by werewolves in the first building and stuff, which I get, it's a rough game. It
There
really
has to
is.
be a difficulty level somewhere, right?
I was gonna find like games because I know how much you like Waste Lad, and Grognak and the Ruby Ruins.
Grognak
So
might be the best game ever made.
I wanted to find some of those classic NES, SNES style RPGs for you. I'm gonna find one and get you to try it.
I remember liking
Actually,
Final Fantasy 3 or something like that on the NES.
I was
think.
actually thinking about picking that up for you, the Pixel remaster.
Oh, they've
Just be like,
remastered
"Try
that
this,
one?
Andrew."
Cool. No,
Yeah, they did.
I totally played that at a sleepover in 3rd grade at Josh McCoy's house, and we stayed up till 4 in the morning beating that thing. It was awesome. That was one.
It's a great game.
I still remember that night. Those nights that you remember from your childhood. That is one of those nights that stands out.
Yeah, we all have those, right? Like the
Absolutely,
sleepover that
yeah.
Remember? Totally. But I mentioned before that they had done Dragon Quest III HD remaster, which is a cool, like the new way they're doing things where they add like shading and like graphics and like near far blur and stuff like that to like these old classic games. They just finally
Yeah.
gave a date for Dragon Quest 1 and 2, which I think you would love. That's going to be in October. I'm
Dragon
definitely picking that
Quest.
one up.
That's not Dragon Age. Okay. Sorry, I was confused
Yeah, no.
there for a second.
Dragon Quest, which was called Dragon Warrior when we were kids.
Dragon War. Okay, is it like Police Quest and Space Quest, that sort of thing, or
No, it's much more like the early Final Fantasies and
Okay.
stuff. It was really the first console RPG of that type.
Because wait, I think Police Quest is in that retro game thing, isn't it?
It is.
I
yeah,
wanted to load
yeah.
it and play it because I was like, oh fuck, Angel played this game. She was
It
talking about
plays
that.
so bad on
Oh, does it?
console.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, a lot of those ones that require typing, they don't work great with the controller.
Oh, it's a typing
They're really made
game.
for PC.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Don't know
So
why they put them in there, to be honest.
you can type with my controller.
Playing Zork with the
people are
controller
good at
that it
I
was meant to
can't.
be.
I cannot do that. Yeah. Anything else? No, Wasteland was the last thing of note that I put down on my gameplay this week. So why don't we go ahead and roll into some game time?
What time is it? Game time!
And this week on Game Time, we've been having such a fun time with all of our generic sodas that I figured, hey, let's just keep rolling right in with it. You know, we did like Sprite, we did some Dr. Pepper, we did some Mountain Dew, we did Coke, we did.
What's that Dr. Pepper?
Yes, it is.
That's that Dr. Pepper.
It is that Dr. Pepper. We did that. So we will this week on Mountain Dew or Mountain Don't. We will be playing Mountain Orange or Mountain Orange.
Are you guys ready for the great new game show, Mountain Dew or Mountain Don't?
For the energy to let you swing, make Mountain Dew your thing. Get your barefoot feeling, drinking Mountain Dew.
All right, so we got a list of 10 names here, 5 real, 5 made up by moi. And we're going to bounce back and forth, and you guys tell me, is this a real fake orange? Is this a real fake beverage or a fake beverage? So we'll hop back and forth here. Ray, why don't you step up to the plate, sir? This one, let's see. Let's start with California Gold.
Fake.
Fake is correct. Good job, Ray. Jess,
Well
over to
played.
you. This one's called Sun Pop.
Sun Pop, that sounds real. I'm going to go with that's real.
That is incorrect. That is one I made up. But good.
Oh, boo.
Boo, boo, boo. Ray, over to you. How about Fanta?
That's got to be Jess's.
That's Jess's.
It's real.
That is a real one. Good job, Ray.
I am a fan of Fanta. It's true.
I do love Fanta. Jess,
I like fake, so
you like he likes the fake Fanta. Suncrest to you, Jess. Suncrest.
That is fake.
No, that one is a real fake.
Again? Wrong again?
Again. Oh man, so horrible. All right, Ray, back to you, sir. How about orangutan?
fake.
I think that's a play on orangutan. Yes, that is fake. I was trying to be clever with you. Ray sniffs it out every time.
He's really good at this. He knows his Mountain Dew or Mountain Orange.
Jess, over to you. Clementines.
Look, I love clementines. We all love clementines. They're a fruit. But I'm going to say it's real because I've been wrong a lot.
And let's continue that pattern, shall we?
No. Ouch.
Man alive.
All right. Ray, back to you. Orange, you glad it's not banana?
I'm going to go with fake on that
Oh,
one.
come on, Ray. Yes, that is correct. Good job. Jess, back to you. Cactus cooler. Cactus cooler.
Well, at least it's not banana.
At least it's not banana.
You know, if there was a cactus cooler, it wouldn't be orange flavored, so I'm going to say fake.
Oh, bummer. That one's real.
Yeah,
Is it really orange?
Isn't cactus cooler grapefruit?
Oh, is it grapefruit, not orange? Oh, sorry.
That's close enough. Citrus.
Citrus.
I'll go.
Citrus.
I'll allow it.
I think
Allow
that's
it.
that's mountain squirt or mountain
No.
dirt.
Mountain squirt or mountain dirt. There you go. All right. I don't even remember who we're on. Ray, are we back to you?
Yeah.
All right. Ray, Livewire.
Gosh, I'm gonna have to go real on that one.
That is real.
Not only that, it's a Mountain Dew flavor.
It is
Mountain
his
Dew
flavor. It's the
Livewire.
orange Mountain Dew.
You're doing this on purpose.
Oh, wait, here you go, Jess. Here's one for you. Is it the last one? This might be the last one. Yes, it is. Okay, here's the last
I'm
one for
ready.
you, Jess. Crush.
Crush is real.
Crush is real.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yay! All right. Thanks so much for playing this week's edition of Mountain Dew, or what do we say? Mountain Orange or Mountain Orange?
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to give back my Fanta.
You don't like Fanta?
Well, no. There's like 100 flavors.
Yeah, there
of
are.
Fanta.
There are. Especially if you go
Yeah.
to Europe, it is insane.
But Orange Fanta is one of the most popular for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thanks, guys. I'm loving this game, Jess. Thanks, but I also love to run things into the ground. So maybe you're gonna get sick
I
of
might
the
need to do a
fact that
fall-themed one
you're gonna be
soon.
like,
Get
God
us all
damn it,
Back on track.
Andrew, stop. All right, let's zip on back over to the show notes. See what we got going on. Oh, it looks like we have a little bit of a Fallout terminal velocity from some weirdo named Atomic Andrew. Let's roll into that. Howdy, folks. It's Atomic Andrew. Out in the wasteland, I came across a skeleton wearing a vault suit, had a Pip-Boy on its arm. Decided to scroll back in the activity log 1 hour, see if we could figure out how this vault dweller met their ultimate demise. So about 2 hours into their adventure, they say, spotted a feral ghoul. The feral ghoul is moving, ready to attack, and it's stronger than he looks. I'm out of here. Suffered 3 damage and earned 0 experience. I found a locker containing an initiate robe, and I observed a giant ant. The giant ant is moving in, ready to attack. It gave me a vicious arm wound. I must run. Suffered 5 damage and earned no experience. Detect a savage dog snarling angrily. I've got to kill the savage dog before it kills me, and I did. The savage dog is dead. I earned 200 experience. Identified another giant ant. The giant ant's antennae are quivering and moves in for the kill. The giant ant gave me a vicious arm wound. I'm running. Suffered 5 damage and earned 41 experience. Saw a terrifying Yao Guai. The Yao Guai is charging. It thinks I'm lunch. I was crazy to take on this Yao Guai. Hopefully I can get away. Suffered only 3 damage, yet earned 92 experience. Found a third giant ant. It's moving in, ready to attack. The giant ant gave me another vicious arm wound. This person obviously cannot have its third vicious arm wound. How many arms do you have? I'm running. Suffered 5 damage and earned no experience. I used a stim pack. Oh, that's better. I saw a hideous little mole rat. The mole rat is moving in, ready to attack, and the mole rat has been killed. Earned 225 XP and found 5 caps. Observe a terrifying Yao Guai. The Yao Guai is moving in, ready to attack. I was crazy to take on this Yao Guai. Hopefully I can get away. Suffered 3 damage and earned no experience. Found another mole rat. One mole rat? It's as good as dead. The mole rat has been killed. Earned 225 XP. 2 hours
Wow.
and 15 minutes into the adventure. Identified a scavenger's dog sniffing for salvage. I don't see the scavenger, but his dog is circling, ready to bite. The scavenger's dog is too tough. I can't beat it. I suffered 5 damage and earned 46 XP. Spotted another guard dog watching the same area. The guard dog won't let me pass, and I'll have to kill it to get by. It really doesn't want to let me pass. Time to back off. Suffered 8 damage and earned 82 XP. Detected another scavenger's dog sniffing different salvage. It's moving in, ready to attack. It's too tough and I can't beat it. I suffered 5 more damage, earning no XP. Detect a guard dog watching the area. The guard dog is moving in, doesn't want to let me pass. Time to back off. 8 damage, earning no XP. I use another stim pack. Identified a scavenger's dog. There are so many dogs here. Suffered 5 damage, no XP. Finally escaped the junkyard. Spotted a bloatfly buzzing around, dangerously close. The bloatfly is moving in, ready to attack. I wasn't prepared for the bloatfly's sting. Time to run. Suffered 2 damage and earned no XP. I found 15 caps. Oh, that's good. I got 10 points of radiation damage. I'm just running around in the wasteland, I guess. Yeah, my Geiger counter goes off occasionally. I found a savage dog, snarling angrily. I've got to kill the savage dog before it gets me. I did it. The dog is dead, earning 200 XP. Another scavenger's dog, suffering a total of 6 damage, 46 and 26 XP. Another scavenger's dog, another scavenger's. There's so many scavenger's dogs out here. Here's another hideous mole rat, 225 XP after that kill. Identified a wandering feral ghoul. Uh-oh. The feral ghoul is out of its mind. It's lunging at me. It's stronger than he looks. I'm out of here. Suffered 3 damage and earned 36 XP. 2 hours, 34 minutes. Discovered a wandering merchant. The merchant is interested in bartering. I pushed my luck, and the merchant didn't like the deal I proposed. I suffered 3 damage and earned 4 XP. Wow, so they even got in a battle with the merchant. That's crazy. Over bad prices. Another savage dog. Another savage dog. Lots of savage dogs. Ooh, I located a locked safe. 2 hours, 38 minutes in. Attempting to open the safe, but it appears I don't have the skill to open the safe, and I'll never know what's inside. That's disappointing.
Oh no.
Suffered 5 damage and earned 4 XP. 5 damage? What, from the safe? Is this an Acme
Broke a
cartoon?
fingernail.
Fall on your head? I used a stim pack. Oh, that's better. Oh, a more giant ant interactions for 5 damage. Another mole rat. Killed it this time. 225 XP. Good. Rad roach this time for 3 damage. No XP. What? You defeated it. No, wait. The rad roach is too fast. I've had enough. Oh, you ran from a rad roach. Yikes, you must have really been in sad shape. Found 15 caps, 2 hours, 42 minutes in. The Algoy is moving in, ready to attack. Crazy to take it on. Hopefully I can get away. Suffered only 3 damage and earned 0 XP. Another giant ant. Suffered 2 damage, 0 XP. Oh, 2 hours, 47 minutes in. They reached Good Neighbor. The people here look far from friendly. I better play my cards right. I accidentally insulted one of the traders and had to run out while dodging gunfire. Wow. Suffered 3 damage and earned 10 XP. Fire Ant Warrior is the next foe up. Suffered only 5 damage and ran again, no XP. This seems like Brenda runs from most of the battles. I think she was only equipped with a pistol that did 3 damage, so she wasn't actually equipped with a lot of firepower. And 2 hours, 52 minutes in, it appears she runs into a feral ghoul, and it's out of its mind, lunging, more dangerous than it looks. 3 damage, 36 XP. I'm surprised you get 36 XP, even if you don't kill the thing and run away. Another fire ant. I never thought I'd be afraid of an insect, but this fire ant warrior means business. The fire ant warrior burned me pretty badly. Time to run and recover. Suffered 5 damage and earned 0 XP. Another savage dog. Battle ended. The savage dog is dead. Earned 200 XP. Great job. I've found a locker containing an enhanced scope 44. Enhanced scoped 44. Nice. Hopefully that does more than 3 or 4 damage. I wonder if when they find the pistol in the wasteland, if they can start using it immediately or if they actually need to bring it back to the vault for a little maintenance before they can actually use it. Interesting. Another giant worker ant, a feral ghoul, after bailing 3 damage, no XP. Another giant ant. Suffered 2 damage and earned 51 XP after killing that giant worker ant. Good job. Coming to near the end of the scroll here. Going around, let's see, 3 hours in, discovering a bustling Children of Adam camp blocking the road. Ooh, that's really interesting. Going around will take too much time. I've got to try sneaking through the camp. I walked right into a string of 10 cans. Time to run, suffering 5 damage and earned 9 XP. Nice. I observed a bloatfly buzzing dangerously close. Time to swat this bloatfly like the insect it is. Wasn't prepared for the bloatfly's sting. Time to run, suffer 2 damage, earned 26 XP. Another giant ant. Oh no, this looks like it might be the final battle. The giant ant is moving in, ready to attack. Gave me a vicious arm wound. I'm running. Oh no, it's that 4th vicious arm wound. Suffered 5 damage and earned 0 XP. And final entry, Dweller died in the wasteland 3 hours, 3 minutes into the adventure. Well, I'm just going to collect this 156 caps off this skeleton. Maybe I'll take this Pip-Boy back and these couple of outfits and a couple pistols that poor Brenda had. Brenda, sorry you didn't make it out of the wasteland, but we appreciate your donation to keeping the Fallout Feed vault well stocked.
Wow.
To participate in the Fallout Terminal Velocity Project, send your special letters, holotapes, and terminal entries to thefalloutfeed@gmail.com.
They bring up a good point in the peanut gallery. She died from a bloat-wing sting? They sting now?
Not usually. No.
Those are
No, they're
sting
usually just
wings that
spit.
do that. Yeah. They spit
Yeah.
those larvae at you that burrow into your fucking skin.
Probably the 4th vicious arm wound that really did it in.
How many arms does she have?
So, her overseer sent her out with only a 3 damage pistol. Is that what you found on this Pip-Boy? Or Atomic Andrew found on the Pip-Boy?
This is, I don't know who that demented overseer is. I also agree that is no condition to send someone out in. But when I kind of had the idea to do this, I was playing my vault, the towers vault that I just started, and I had like 6 rooms and 10 dwellers. I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna send her out because I want her to die so that I can like recount the last little bit of her adventure. And that was only, I read the last, she was out for 3 hours before she died, and all of those fucking interactions happened in the last hour, which is
Wow.
like every minute I guess it spawns some sort of random interaction, I guess. Did that sound like 60 things that happened? Probably, or maybe it was 30. I don't even know, but like probably every 2 minutes, maybe. It feels like every minute or two it spawns.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Some
Yeah,
sort of
every
like
2.
yeah, some sort of interaction like that.
It's neat. She met a lot of. They were lower level creatures at first, but I mean, there were Yaogwai in there.
Yeah,
There were
there's a bunch
vicious
of
dogs.
Yaogwai and stuff, which that brings up a thing. I don't really see super mutants like mentioned very often, but why? Like even the ones you see, like you hear mentioned, like I'd like to see the little mole rat animated. He's adorable. The death claws look cute. Like I would like to see the I don't know, whatever bad guys, the bloat flies and all the other things that they mentioned, the snarling dogs, the 15 fucking different varieties of savage dog and scoundrel dog. Anyway, but I just wish that they would have super mutants that were actually animated that came in, like all the things that you see mentioned. But I get it. That's part of like using, it's the whole like using your imagination and the storytelling behind the numbers type of thing. But I know it might like started as a sort of joke, but the shelter really does provide me with a lot of really quality fun. It's silly how this silly little dumb game. It really is a dumb little game, but it is so much fun.
It's a great second
It's
screen
so much
game,
fun, yeah.
It may not be your main thing, but especially like
Yeah.
to play while you're watching TV or doing other things
I
too.
play it
like,
all the time.
great.
I come up with different ideas how like different designs and vaults and stuff. Like really love it. All right,
Yeah. And it beats Castles hand down, I'm afraid, doesn't it?
I
Sorry,
have been
Steve.
thinking a lot about Castles too. Like I do want to get back into that. I don't know why I keep I just keep putting it down every once in a while, but I do keep picking it back up. So I wish there was a way to like restart though. There is, but you have to like do something weird with your account. I hate that it's tied to like your phone gamer account or whatever. That's really weird that they did that. Anyway, sorry. Let's get on with what do we got? Oh, let's roll into our news and see what's going on with Iguana Bit.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up.
Thank you, Jess. Yeah, we've got a lot of bits this week. I was
awesome.
searching the news for fault-related stuff, seeing
Yeah.
stuff during the week, and there was a lot. The big thing is an AMA we'll get into, but here's a couple of tidbits right up front. So the first big bit, much to Ray's dismay,
Oh no.
the Fallout London VR release was announced. It's actually made. So this was posted by Electronic Gorilla on Reddit 2 days ago in the Fallout London subreddit. After a few months of hard work and the beta release of XDI VR, we are proud to announce the release of Fallout London VR. You can find the installation files on Nexus. Please note, this is a community-made and unofficial mod. Team Full On, the group behind Fallout London, does not provide any support for this. The mod is still in beta, as only around 10% of the quests and one main storyline have currently been tested. But at the moment, all known game-breaking bugs have been fixed. So everything they found for the start of the game and the first full quest line is working in VR. Looks pretty cool. Seeing this first person, one of the pictures that they shared on the Nexus release has a guy wielding an umbrella. So, your very British weapons. You can have your cricket bat and your umbrella and see all that stuff in VR. So it looks fantastic. I know the people at Full On were excited to hear about this. there was definitely some discussion, and as Ray mentioned, they even did a big announcement about the release.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's super fun.
I like the umbrella thing. That's really funny.
have
Was
you
the
seen
Avengers
people play?
movie? Was that? He had an umbrella gun thing, I think. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Have you seen people play Fallout VR, like ever on stream or in videos?
No,
Andrew?
I never actually have. If I don't have a VR, I imagine I can't like experience it like that, right?
Yeah, you need a VR headset to be able to play it.
Yeah,
but
like to
it's
play it,
available-
but even me watching a YouTube video of someone play, would I get some sort of fair impression of what they are actually experiencing? Or
you get a fair impression, especially if you sit really close to the screen. It helps. So
if I
just
set
wanted to know
two
if you saw how
TVs
it
on
worked.
either side of my periphery and a TV right in front of me.
There you go. Yeah. But basically they're floating arms and hands that come up, and as you look, wherever you turn your head and look, it's like you move the camera. So it's almost like you're in portrait mode and everything's kind of on a swivel more than it normally is with your joysticks. But it's floating. And then if you want to like use a menu, it pops up and you can wiggle, your hands to push things on the menu.
Oh my God, really?
It's a little bit
That's silly.
dizzifying.
That's silly.
But it's fun. So yeah, it's a fun thing.
Have
It's-
you
it's
watched
very cool they did it.
someone do a playthrough in that?
I've watched several hours of people playing Fallout 4 in VR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a little bit of Skyrim in VR, but I've mostly watched Fallout 4 in VR. And no, it's fun, and it's an official thing Bethesda worked on a release for, and it's really neat.
Wow. Any other Bethesda games have that VR support? Just
I
Skyrim
don't
and Fallout 4?
know. I actually don't know. I think there's Skyrim and Fallout 4. Is there a Starfield VR official? I don't think so. I think anything else would be modded only.
Can I get
Yeah.
a VR headset that has Mothman eyes on the front?
You would have to add them yourself, I believe, but you could. Mothman Googly Eyes. So there is a Starfield virtual reality mod that came out in February of this year.
But not official.
Not official.
Okay.
Nope.
That's cool.
Yeah, and VR conversion mods are really neat. And I mean, a lot of times with the VR headset, it's just the feeling of playing in a giant movie theater. You know what I mean? Having it, the wraparound view. Even if you're not in VR, you can play any game on a VR headset as your screen.
Oh, yeah. So if it does have VR support, that just means you can look up and see sky instead of the screen stopping or something?
Yeah, and they've modded in so the menus and everything work in VR, and it recognizes hand movements as movement controls. Because you're
How does
not, when you play in VR, you're not often, I mean, you can do it holding a joystick, but there are other ways to interact too.
Okay, I was going to say, how does the helmet read my hands? Do you have that thing where it has another sensor camera that's reading your body or whatever?
It depends on the VR you're using. We were talking about this ahead a little bit, how, PlayStation VR, PSVR doesn't have a whole lot of support in PSVR 5. PSVR 2, but it is out on the PS5. The Meta headset, the various Oculus versions that are now owned by Facebook, are kind of have the most variety and advances. Steam has the Vive, but a lot of these require at least 2 sensors in a room too. So you've got your headset, you've got everything set to it, you've got a couple of sensors in the room, and there are different versions that have less and such.
Huh.
There's some where it tracks the things that you hold. So if I remember correctly with PSVR, some games want you holding those little jousting rods. The PlayStation had those. Did you see them? The little
It has
sticks with
little
the nubbins
balls
on it?
them, yeah.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yep, to track it. There's a couple different ways to do it.
Yeah. That's interesting. So
Yeah.
the PC players need those same sensors, I would imagine, like supported around the room or whatever.
I'm sure some of our
Interesting,
listeners have tried VR at some point, whether a demo at a store or at a convention
Yeah.
or at home in some cases. It takes a powerful PC, but not as powerful as it used to, because you've got the PlayStation option now. You've got various levels of the meta.
Is that going to be a thing, or is it like how 3D movies were in the early 2000s? You know what I mean? No one makes 3D movies anymore.
It's just the whole setup is kind of gomby. You generally need a dedicated space, a lot of room. And when you put on the VR headset, you're kind of dead to the world. So it's not, when you play video games, you can at least be a little bit social. You can hear when someone calls for dinner.
You
You don't
shout,
as
"Leave me
easily."
alone, Mom." You can shout there. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it kind of like 3D TVs. It hasn't taken off. But if it does become more accessible and less gomby, who knows? I know you like that word.
Gombe.
Gombe. Silly Ord says he played the intro of Skyrim in VR up until he gets to Riverwood. So that's cool.
And then his wagon flipped over and everyone died.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
You're
in
finally
VR
awake.
getting the fucking wagon twisting thing in VR? That'd be amazing.
First time you're roasted by a dragon. Oof, you rough. So that's that first announcement. Next up on the bits, Modus Files, my crew actually got a spotlight.
Nice.
So, occasionally they do the community spotlight on someone in the community or a group or what have you. And they actually interviewed Lawrence from the Modus Files, talking about the origins of the show, a lot about the show. And it was just a really wonderful spotlight article interview where he got to share some of the art people have made over the years. Because Modus Files has been almost 6 years now. I believe it started in 21. So it's been 5 years. It'll be 5 years soon. And we're just about wrapping up, by the way. I think I mentioned before, but we're very, very close to the end. Only a couple more episodes. Probably done by the end of the summer.
Like end of end?
End of the story in the Modus Files. Yep. It always kind of had a planned story arc. And while he's certainly elaborated and, scripted things out, some of the episodes have gotten very long. We have 1.5-hour, 2-hour-long episodes sometimes, the last few. But yeah, so it was a great article. So if you go to Bethesda.net, you check out the news, fallout.bethesda.net, the whole thing is there, and of course it's on socials because we were all retweeting it and stuff. But good job, Lawrence, and congrats on being featured.
Very cool.
Also, here's some fun stuff. So the Oblivion Remakester. April sales. So I talked about how the Oblivion Remakester was one of the fastest to hit 1,000 mods, one of the fastest games ever, how it was selling really well. Here's a new statistic. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay. So in April, sales in April of the Oblivion Remaster sold more than the original Oblivion did in the first 15 months it was out. When it came out in 2006, very popular game. Everyone knows it did well, but in 1 month, it has sold more than it did in the first 15 months of the original release. So good job, y'all, supporting the Remakester. Now, what is that number? It doesn't actually say what the number is. This is just based on statistics from Circana, formerly known as NPD Group, who tracks sales and stuff. And we know it sold more than 3 million in that first month. So somewhere over 3 million, and I don't know what the exact number is. They'll probably say sometime soon. I have a feeling when we come to the Xbox Showcase coming up in just a week, by the way, this is Sunday, June 8th, is going to be the Xbox Showcase, where they talk about a number of Bethesda projects and products. We might actually get some real numbers there too, so I hope so. But it's doing great. It was also the most played game or best-selling game on Xbox in the month as well. Things have been moving up and down, but yeah, sold really, really well. They said over 4 million is what I'm hearing in chat now. Over 4 million now. Okay, awesome. But I do think for April, which is what this was tabulating, the first month from April, that it was only 3 million some. But I'm glad to hear it's hit 4 already. That's awesome. But
And
cool
those are
thing- and
actual raw purchases. They don't count like Game Pass stream.
Yeah, no, they're not
stuff,
talking
like-
Game Pass. They're
okay.
talking sales. Exactly. Across various settings, though. What I just think is neat about that whole statistic in general is it represents not just how popular Elder Scrolls and Bethesda games have become, but also how the gaming market now is so much different than it was even just 19 years ago. You know,
Go ahead. Yeah.
it's larger.
Expand.
It's a lot larger. As much as console sales have kind of peaked and they're not growing like they were for years, there's still been a ton of growth from 2000s to now. Like in 2000s, it was still, for a lot of people, niche. Yeah, a lot more people had consoles, but through the lifetime of 360, like by the end of 360 versus the beginning of the 360 when Oblivion came out, I think it got a lot more popular. You know, you saw a lot more console sales. They were growing, became adopted, but I think it just shows that there's a lot more of a hungry market who likes to game a lot now than there was back 19 years ago.
I think probably every household has at least one, if not multiple, gaming systems. You know.
A lot of them do, for sure. Yeah, yeah. And if they don't, you know, they have phones. Like, everybody's a gamer now.
Mobile
A lot more
games
people
have blown up like crazy in the last 19 years. Absolutely.
Hmm. Also, a fun announcement that came out. So I just pulled this up, but Witcher 3 announced yesterday they are going to be giving official cross-platform mod support. So The Witcher 3 on console and PC is going to have cross-platform mod support and integrate mods into the game. That's going to be for the 10th anniversary coming up later this year.
That
Actually,
game came out 10 years ago?
Yeah, well, it came out 2015, so I don't remember the exact date.
That is crazy.
For real, it's been forever. I mean, they did an entire Cyberpunk in between, and that was 4 years ago now, right?
Yeah. Ray played the hell out of that.
Yep. But so they released mod support for Baldur's Gate 3 with the last update back, I believe it was February or March. And now
played that
Witcher
game.
is getting mod support. I just want to say thank you, Bethesda, because they were groundbreaking. The very first games on console to ever get mods on console was Skyrim Anniversary Edition and then Fallout 4, you know, bringing that in, proving that mods on console could work. Even the console manufacturers fought it, and Sony still does a little bit, but less than they used to. But they've normalized it. They've become so popular, people talking about it now. Nexus mods has grown, and now other console games are getting mods. So yeah, I just want people know that's going to be coming to The Witcher, I believe this fall is when they're planning to bring it in. They're currently available on Baldur's Gate 3, and obviously all these Bethesda games getting it. Now, are we going to get mods in Oblivion Remastered official support? I don't know. I don't think so. The way that Remakester is made, I don't know if it'll support mods. But they were first. and I just wanted to mention that.
Wouldn't they do a Creation Club style thing before allowing mods anyhow, probably?
Well, Creation Club and Creations is mods.
Yeah,
You know, it's
but
just
like,
different name
wouldn't
for
they
it.
try to control it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they would, but
Strangle
the way
the
it's-
fun out of it like they always do.
Any way they do it on console, it has to be that. So it's the same for Baldur's and same for Witcher. You know, it's an official marketplace, officially vetted stuff. You can't Wild West it. You're not gonna get your anime girl nude mods on the console as easily. I'm sorry.
Damn. My schlongs of Skyrim are gone.
Featured creation, Schlongs of
Schlongs
Skyrim.
Skyrim. Oh, God bless Victor.
In VR.
Ew, no. That's terrible. Terrible.
Speaking of changes and adoption of gaming and how that affects, there was actually a study done recently. So this comes via Sophie McAvoy. She works for GI Biz. There's some great writers over at GI Biz. The site was sold a little while ago, and they've lost some of their staff, but there's still some great writers there at GameIndustry.biz. So this was a good article from Sophie, and she's reporting on a group called Sensor Tower, and they did basically an analysis of and a survey of how games and other media are affecting game sales, specifically film and television adaptations, but also comics and such. So, following the success of Amazon Prime's Fallout series, I'm quoting now from the article, daily active users were 225% higher for Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 in the weeks following the show's premiere last April. That's according to a report conducted by Sensor Tower, which looked into the effect film and television adaptations are having on games they're based on. Quote, Sensor Tower found that sales of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 rose 125% and 410% respectively. So that's 410% more sales of Fallout 4 than previously, and 125% of Fallout 3 during the week of the show's premiere. So the week that Fallout came out, the TV show. Also, daily active users for Fallout Shelter increased by 77%.
That was
during the
me.
run of the show.
That was me.
That was all you. You played 77% more Shelter.
I had
No.
my iPad going. I had 2 phones. I got it on my computer. Had on my TV. Had it all.
So daily active users 70%, and in-app purchases, people dropping money on the game 150%. So 77% more daily active users, spending 150% more money altogether.
Nice.
Pretty cool. And we knew they didn't go into the boost on 76, but we also obviously have talked previously about the growth on 76.
I would like to
So-
see the stats. What percentage of characters created for that extra influx of gaming do you think those characters were named either Lucy or Max or what was the ghoul's name? I forget his name. Fuck.
Cooper.
Cooper.
Cooper Howard.
Hooper.
The ghoul.
Cooper. The ghoul.
So there probably weren't as many Maxes, but I don't know. You know, I'm trying to think.
Yeah, he is a
I've
dope.
seen mostly Lucy's. Like, I haven't seen that many characters named Cooper or Max, but Lucy.
Tons
I mean,
of Lucy's. Right.
there were guides all over how to make a Lucy in Fallout 4, character
Oh,
guides.
that's great. I don't
Yeah.
think I actually saw any of that. I should look those up.
Some
That's
people
funny.
made them. Some people even did some mods, so you could actually download, a version of Lucy as a preset. You could just install in your game and then play as
Oh,
Lucy.
that's fun.
So it was wicked popular, which makes sense. She's the Vault Dweller, so she'd
Yeah.
usually be the main character. But yeah, I just thought that was some really neat statistics. This study was just done. They also looked at The Last of Us, the Minecraft movie, other things like that.
Oh, right.
So just a few more numbers here. So daily active users for Last of Us Part 1 and 2 rose 40% following the premiere of the second season of the show. And HBO Max saw an increase in app downloads. In contrast to Fallout, the results for Last of Us hinged on bringing new awareness to the franchise. So rather than the free-to-play nature of Shelter and users coming back and playing or buying new, Last of Us was actually new awareness to the franchise. People who hadn't ever played Last of Us before. So that was kind of a difference there. Beyond that, for the Minecraft movie, here we go. Here's the numbers there. It surpassed 550 million in the first 10 days, as people probably know.
Yeah.
Mobile in-app purchases in Minecraft rose 44%, while console saw a 36% increase. Now, this is Minecraft. Minecraft is almost always in the top 50 games played. In fact, Minecraft is
Yeah.
usually in the top
I would
10%
say.
played.
Yeah.
Top 10 played. But it moved, if I remember correctly, and this is off the top of my head, so don't quote me, but if I remember correctly, the Circana report from the month before had it at like 11, the 11th most sold game. It jumped back to 4 last month.
When the movie came out,
Movie.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I
So-
think is unfair? When they count Roblox as one game because it's really thousands of games, you know? And it's always like, Roblox, the number one game, blah, blah. That's bullshit. That's
Yeah,
not
Roblox is a platform,
Yeah.
a very successful platform. I mean, but Fortnite is really a platform now too because there are so many different
so
game
many
modes,
different games in
character
yeah.
skins. But yeah, gosh, if I remember correctly, I heard that one of the most popular games in Roblox now, I think it's Garden something Garden. that had concurrent users. It hit a new concurrent user peak of over a million.
Unless
Like it
it's
was just some
Bone
ridiculous
Garden.
number. I don't remember the name of it. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's just one of the games in Roblox itself had a concurrent player count far higher than most games on their own, and this is just one
Yeah.
of the games in Roblox.
Yeah. It's unfair how they've got that whole monopoly cornered there.
Our good buddy Lee in chat, Lee says Fallout's Pip-Boy is a platform. He's right.
Because I can play Nuka Tapper, I can play Grognak. It's the best.
Mm.
The best.
So I checked on the Wild West. There's 3,159 mods currently for the remastered.
That's amazing. Over 3,000 mods already.
Yep.
How many schlong-related mods?
I did not search.
That'll get your name on a list.
Nexus has less of those mods than some other sites too. So, continuing the bits, here's a big one. So this is the reason why the news was so heavy this week, is because they actually did another AMA, a Fallout AMA in the Discord yesterday. AMA being Ask Me Anything, about the new update. So they did this for the Ghoul update as well, something new that they're doing where you get John and some of the other people in on, some of the other devs for Fallout 76 jumping in to talk about it. So I got a little digest of some of the questions they were asked and a few answers. So I just thought I'd go over those for people, get them some info. So first of all, there were a lot more questions asked than what I have here, but I just got some highlights as related to fishing and stuff people may care about. So one of the first questions asked was, why fishing? Why are you bringing fishing to Fallout? Which
Yeah.
I can answer right there. It's an MMO, and you look for fun things to do while you're chatting with your friends, and fishing is like the ultimate MMO activity,
Do you know how many golf courses there are in this map?
They really should give us golf, too.
They really
Be
should.
amazing. That would be awesome. I mean, aside from a few ghouls attacking you en route.
That would be full contact golf.
But so with why fishing, they said it helps long-term players re-engage with parts of the game and map they don't visit as often, which I think that's a really cool answer. That, as people play and level up, they get in habits and routines of how they play. And that's true. You log in, you do events. You log in, you drop nukes. You log in, you see what your friends are doing, maybe you work on your camp. But one thing I've tried to do over the years is, pick a location and fully explore it again. Remember the lore. Check the terminals again. Read the notes. And what they want to do here is re-engage with the map. There's all kinds of cool lakes and rivers and different areas and environments on the Fallout 76 map. And this is an excuse and a way to get players to go visit it again, because there will be region-specific fish, there will be weather-specific fish, and some challenges to send you around. So that's why they're doing it. And they also said it's going to add a system that can grow over time too. That not just the number of starting fish we're getting, but there will be more fish by the end of the year. Someone cheekily asked if you'll be able to fish in Atlantic City on expeditions, and they were told no fishing in expeditions. Someone else asked, and we already knew this, but they asked it again, so I want to reiterate. Will weather stations affect fish? and affecting type and frequency. And yes, it will affect just like actual weather. So fish that can be caught in rad storms can be caught while you have a rad storm weather station up. Fish that
Oh.
would be caught in snow, fish that would be caught in various things, that weather will affect it. So
Will
that's pretty cool.
certain fish caught under certain conditions provide different rewards that you use, materials that you use to craft something special? You know what I mean? Like, will different fish provide different materials, I guess the word would be?
I believe so.
Okay.
There's going to be new meat and recipes for it. You know, so
Mhm.
you're getting you're getting the new NPCs with this.
We're
You're
getting like fish scale armor or anything cool like that? Like shark tooth weapons or anything?
Oh, let me see if I can pull up a list of that. First, I just want to kind of talk about the daily. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't really talk about this
Sorry,
in the AMA,
sorry,
but
I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry.
we know from the PTS. No, it's a good question. We know from the PTS that there's going to be a daily every day to go fishing too. So when you go to
Oh, fun.
Fisherman's Rest, which is the new location in the Mire. Oh, for those wondering where it's going to be, it's near the mall. What's the name of the mall there? The Galleria. The Galleria over there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of just behind that. And you'll meet Captain Raymond, and you talk to him and the fishermen. And they'll give you a region, and they'll say, hey, go here and catch 7 fish from this region. It doesn't matter what fish you catch as long as number 7. So you can go,
Mhm.
you can just, grab the trouts or grab something fancy, whatever. And so you go, you get that, and you will earn more bait and things to fish with, and you'll earn rewards. As far as what are the rewards? You can get mod boxes. So yeah, it's random mods from each of the area. They've assigned different things. There are camp and recipe plans that you can earn and get there. So you can get like a chum trough is one to answer your questions. Chum trough, lamps, Chesterfield chairs and sofas, all kinds of fancy furniture, but they're called drowned furniture. So you get like drowned presidential desk, a drowned signal lantern. I don't know what that means. You also get, let's see, fishing rod displays, a bunch of recipes like fish chowder, various things. And there are some cool plushie rewards too. So you can get, instead of the crab bus, you can get like a crab boat plushie and Myra
Oh.
plushies and various things like that.
Oh, can you
Oh.
hook a Mirelurk?
So as far as the fish that you can actually catch, so I'm going to go, let me see if I can find this. So here's
Like
a list of
You
the
pull up
bait
a
you can
Mirelurk
get.
king and you're like, oh no, throw that one back. Get off
I
my
don't
hook.
have a full list of the fish you can get. You would think that would be something that I would have, but I have not found a list of that or anyone sharing one. So I don't know yet all the fish
Cool.
that you can get. But there's a number of different ones. We know there's going to be axolotls as rewards,
Oh.
number of fish per regions, and all that. So the next question: tracking and displaying fish. Okay, so you find fish, but what can you do with them? And so currently, you can only display fish by getting them stuffed and mounted on the walls. They're not adding fish tanks, which would be cool. I know you'd like that. Or your own personal fish pond. You can have special fish swimming around, stuff like that. Your little axolotl pond. They don't have that. So no ideas with that, but there's going to be mounted and displayed like before.
I do
you
have a
can
hot
track-
tub I'm willing to donate to the
Oh.
process there.
Yeah, fish in a hot tub, but not the goo tub. They don't like the goo. They're like
Goo
me
tub.
that way. But so someone also asked if there'd be a logbook or a way to track the fish you've caught. And so there are still like a lot of the challenges. You've got your world challenges, your survive challenges. There will be a list of fish by region and the fish you've caught. And I think once you're actually looking at that, that's where we'll get the list of fish we can catch, which will grow over time. And you can check there, but there's not like a special logbook where you can just go and look up your fish. You'll have to go to the challenges and search. So it's not super easy, but hot tub would boil them. Yeah, the hot tub would probably boil them, but you don't need to turn it on,
They were axolotl when you put them into the goo tub, but give it a couple days, they come out, something else.
Ew, yeah. So let me just check on the wiki, see if we've got a list of fish yet on the wiki, because I've looked all kinds of places, but I didn't
Yeah.
look there.
Do you think it's, I know you don't know, but do you think it's like we're going to get 10 to 15 species of fish or like 50? Is it going to be, it'll probably just be stupid little variations on the same one.
Yeah,
like
I
how
think
they
we're
do it.
starting out probably 20 to 30 from what I
Yeah.
remember seeing without actually writing them down. I can't believe no one's written them down. It's not on the wiki yet either.
Wow.
If
Okay.
someone listening wants to take a look, see if you can find them for us, that's good. But we'll have them next week anyway.
They'll
Soon
be
enough.
data mined somewhere, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be data mined and published soon enough. But even my girl, Duchess Flame, she's got a guide on bait. She's got a guide on the fish trap, which is the fish trap is something you can set up in your camp to catch fish. And she actually here she has a number of the names of fish. Okay, so here you get a chance for here's some of the fishes you can get: a brook silverside, a
Oh.
red belly, a sunscreen pit fish, ridge trout, smoky salmon, walleye, yellow bullhead. So yeah, there's a few of the fishes you can catch.
Sounds like they're using real fish names. I thought they were going to come up with like new
Rad ones?
monster rad fish.
I have a feeling there's some of those too. I don't know.
Oh,
But the
there
ones you
probably
catch
will
at the
be.
fish trap are just normal.
Like nuka fish.
Mm-hmm. So another thing, people asked about availability of bait, where you can get bait. So you'll be able to get common bait from vendors. You can get improved bait as a reward for doing that daily quest I was talking about, going to talking to Captain Raymond, getting a quest, doing the daily. You get better bait to catch better fish, and then you can get superb bait. And superb bait is currently only going to be a seasonal reward item. As far as what they do, so basic worms used for fishing. Let's see. I don't really know the difference. Pretty much it's just greater chance. So I'm looking at the description for improved bait, for instance. It just says greater chance of catching rare fish than regular bait. Okay.
There you go.
But how much greater? I don't know.
Just greater. That's all you
Yeah.
need to know.
And superior bait,
More.
greater chance of catching rare fish than improved bait. I love these percentages. We'll know the percentages soon enough when it launches.
It's probably 5, 10, and 15. It's not going to be anything huge.
Right. But I'm excited. Is it going to be fun? I don't know. Fishing is one of those things that is just kind of fun. I think it'll be fun in this game. You log in, you fish. It's just a fun thing to do while you think. Kind of like Shelter.
I'm excited to check it out.
Let's see. Anything else on the AMA that I wrote down?
We're going to have to craft a rod and all that, I assume. Or actually, you can
Yeah.
find them around, I guess, too.
Yeah, you'll be able to get some of your stuff from the fisherman too. So Captain Raymond is, of course, where you're getting the quest and talk to you, but I believe the fisherman gives you a lot of the loot. He's
There's
going to
already
be
all sorts of silly
vendor
like,
and rewards.
there's all sorts of silly like fishing outfits already, and like the lobster trap helmet and stuff like that. Yeah, we could get into this.
They can go all in on this. And when I looked at the season last week, there are some cool season rewards coming in. Someone asked about the fisherman's cool ass outfit too. So the fisherman, for those who haven't seen yet, spoilers: the fisherman might be a Mirelurk King, a sentient Mirelurk King of some kind, related. But he's got like this cool hood, very Dark Brotherhood. He's got a hood and a robe, and people wonder if you can get that. They said maybe.
Which means
So I
yes.
don't think it's going to be there, but they're thinking about it.
That's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. And the actual lore of the expansion and the characters, they mentioned they come from the Capital Wasteland originally, and they came here. So it's just another kind of connection to the game. How a lot of times for the lore, you have some of the groups that have come from various places. A lot of people were in the Capital Wasteland for a while too. So they like drawing those connections. Some people from coming down from the pit and all that. People asked about relaxed building changes. So they changed the subject, and the only other thing I have in here from the AMA outside of fishing stuff was people said, hey, you did that building pool a month and a half, 2 months ago. And like 97% of people, if I remember correctly, 97% of people said, yes, we want relaxed building out of the game. And they mentioned coming soon. In fact, John Rush, everyone knows, the Fallout 76 game director, said huge changes are coming. But he didn't tell us exactly when.
When am I going to get my tailor table where I can design my own outfits?
I don't think that's coming. I don't think you're going to be modding your own outfit.
God damn it.
I know. But huge changes coming. We'll find out soon. So I don't know if that means that we're going to actually get word on the next big 76 expansion at the Xbox showcase. We might. Fishing is launching before that. So what I actually suspect we're going to see is that fishing launches on this Tuesday like it's supposed to. And then at the showcase, we get a little bit of a roll-up excitement of what's been happening in 76. And they talk about the Ghoul update, and they talk about the fishing update and all the stuff we already got this year. And then maybe a hint a teaser of something to come. But I don't know. I don't know. As far as that tease about big changes coming soon, I'm just like, what do you think Fallout 76 is going to do later this year? What do you think they're doing this fall? We had so many big updates last year, but this year, so far, it's been, I mean, the ghoul's cool, fishing is cool, but do you think we're getting stories? Do you think we're getting a new expedition?
What would I want? What would it take to get Ray interested in playing 76 again? That's what I want. What
Yeah,
could
I'm not
they-
sure. It's
what
not
could they
ghouls
do?
and fishing.
Was it fishing for ghouls?
Yeah.
Have you tried
You
that?
know, previously we thought maybe story content, but the truth is they added story content and you didn't really do it all
Yeah.
until we went and did it for the roundtable.
Right.
It's true. It's
I
true.
think he
just
might
might
just be
not be
done.
possible. Yep.
Another expedition? Submarine expedition?
Ooh.
So I asked chat too, just to see what they were thinking might be coming. And Rando wants more story related to the ghouls. Yeah, absolutely. Because, they did, as much as we got a pretty great story there, and you could resolve it different ways, different people in charge in Vault 63, we still have Milepost Zero. Milepost Zero is only halfway done. And I know you guys haven't done that many caravans, so you're not aware. But, you do the caravans, you build up the stuff, you can get Milepost Zero set up with more NPCs, but it's supposed to have more story and more NPCs coming as well. So let's finish the Milepost Zero story. That would be cool. Maybe another story related to the ghouls would be cool. Solior mentions loving to see New Orleans. So yeah, another expedition would be nice. Sends us someplace, whether a point lookout kind of thing for an expedition to the capital wasteland of any kind would be awesome. He mentioned New Orleans. That would be cool. Rando says a vault made out of elevators.
I'm there. I'm there.
You're there already. Oh, Lee asked if you can fish from a boat. Yes, you can fish from a boat. Actually, you can fish in most any location of water that the game considers actual real water, so probably no puddles. But the majority of lakes, ponds, rivers, streams will all be fishable with different kinds right there. Check to see if we have anything else. If you can swim in the water, you can fish. That's how you can determine it's deep enough. That makes perfect sense. So yeah. So anyway, this fall, I think we're probably going to get. There have been, when they were building the pit and then they worked on Atlantic City, there was talk of maybe adding some actual quests to the pit in the way they did around Atlantic City to make it an area you could explore and talk to people at more. That would be cool. But I do think we're probably going to get more story this fall. I have a strong feeling new expedition or new story coming in because we got so much last year. And while these things are doing are big systems, none of them involve, the full studio and everybody working on it. None of these things, they've all been new systems and features. And last big story update was last summer. And so they've had a year since then to know the game is getting more popular. What are they focusing on? And I think we're going to get a story update again. Fingers crossed.
Crossing them fingers.
Crossing them fingers. The only other thing I have in the Iguana Bits is just I mentioned for Starfield, the Watchtower creation was just launched by King Gath, and King Gath has been doing a lot, for both Skyrim and Starfield. And Watchtower is their big creation that just came out, but they're already doing a patch for it too. So yeah, it's going to be very supported. They did a full
Good.
patch notes, fixing all kinds of bugs. This is, I would say, if I were to kind of explain to people how big it is, I would say it's Automatron DLC big. It changes the whole game in small ways, and then it has a quest and a few big things attached with it. Some new NPCs, new headquarters, all that. So it's going to be cool.
Fun.
But yeah, they're updating that. In the Atomic Shop, the Wildcat. There's a new cat they added, a Wildcat
What?
bundle. He's really cute. He looks like a mini leopard.
Oh, I'm gonna go get him.
And you got a new emote too. So there are some pet emotes, and you got to buy them. So yeah,
On it.
but it's a wave command. You with your little cat, you can click the wave emote, and the cat will stand up and he goes, waves at you with little paw.
And then he gives you a 3-star legendary weapon.
Yeah, he does. It's because your kitty loves you.
He's very nice.
But they've got a Warm and Fuzzy bundle right now with a bunch of Mr. Fuzzy gear. They've got a complete Chaos bundle now with a bunch of weird stuff. I don't remember what's in it. I looked at it. I'm like, I don't want that. They've got the Fallen Star bundle, which, as I mentioned, is 1,800 Todderinos. That's a lot. That is a lot of Todd bucks.
A lot of Todd bucks.
But you get the Crash Red Star satellite. There's a generator in there. They've got a light they call the Starlight, which is this huge. It's just like this huge scaffold with a bunch of lights on it. It's really bright. They even have a new light ally in there. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. Anywho, the Atomic Shop is full of goodness, but I'm waiting to see what we get with the fishing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be a whole new slew of stuff to buy then too.
Yep, that's my hope. Get that floppy fishing hat you were talking about. And then hip waders.
Hip waders, absolutely. Wonder if there'll be like fly fishing for the river on the side there, or if it'll be only, real fishing.
I think it's only real fishing. But
Wait a minute. Fly fishing is real fishing.
I'm so sorry. Yes, fly fishing is real fishing.
He's hilarious.
And some of the bait that you get might even look like flies. But I mean, fly fishing is just the same as regular fishing, right? Just with a different thing on the hook.
It's a different lure, a different motion. It's really it is kind of its own art, really. It's a specified thing.
When he said real fishing, I assumed he meant REEL.
That's what I did mean. Yeah, real, yeah.
Okay.
Fly versus REEL. I thought Ray was making a pun joke.
Well,
he was.
Absolutely. So I'm going to dress in the Creature from the Black Lagoon rubber suit thing and go fishing. And just an aside, why doesn't that suit work like the ghoul mask does for like sneaking by ghouls? And Fallout 4 did. Wouldn't that be fun? If the rubber costume, the Mirelurk costume,
let you hang out with the Mirelurks.
Hang out with the Mirelurk Kings. You're just chilling with the Mirelurks.
It's kind of like how you become a ghoul in 76 and you'll still get attacked by feral ghouls.
Yeah, why, man?
It's a multiplayer game.
Buzz off.
They didn't change that. They don't add you to a whole new faction when you become a ghoul. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or in 4, all you have to do, I guess that's a mod, but you just have to put on the mask and they fucking ignore you. That was 3 that it was in the game, right? Where you had to get the mask to like go through the sewers or whatever. Yeah, that was totally. Was that new? No, that was 3.
That was 3. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, fuck those sewers.
Talking about the sewers, yeah, for sure.
When are we getting the Fallout 3 remakester?
Oh, so I didn't put that in the bits. I thought I'd add that in a couple weeks as far as like new, collect all the rumors and stuff, just in case we hear something at the showcase.
Do you think that's a possibility?
Oh, I know it's a possibility.
Oh, nice.
I really am sure that we're going to get a Fallout 3 remakester.
Wow.
But not this year. I can't imagine it's going to be ready this year. They just did Oblivion remakester. Look at a year, probably 2. Early 2027, late 2026, maybe, in time for the.
If they can keep releasing
season.
old games and not have to make new ones, all the better for them, right?
Well,
right, because it still takes a lot of work, but not as much work.
But really, what does it save? It seems like they're tearing everything down and making a new game, just using the same audio, and they probably remastered that too,
Well, they did add some new voices. They remastered some of the audio, some of the sounds, and some new voices, but a lot of it's obviously the same. And no, it really is Oblivion at the heart. There is some Gamebryo in there that is kind of the mind behind everything.
It is a different game, though. It really is.
That's why it's a remakester. If it was just a remaster, it wouldn't be a remakester.
It really is a different game. It's
not
really
a full
fun
remake because it really is at heart. Some of those, like we said, some of those same bugs are in there. Some of the same audio logs. It's based on the same, the brain, the code. That's all there on its own layer. But then it's translated into the gorgeousness.
I was up on the mountain there with the tower, looking out over the capital city down below in the valley. And I was running around and I was thinking about how I asked you guys a couple weeks ago if this game is as fun as Skyrim. And, Ray sort of I don't want to say reluctantly, but sort of still reluctantly admitted that, yeah, Skyrim is still more fun. But as I was running around, I was like, this feels a lot like Skyrim to me. They made this game so much better than it was. I know that it is held up as a pinnacle of gaming achievement for its era, but the game used to be very hard for me to play, and now it's fun.
It's still more gamey than Skyrim in my mind. Skyrim has a little more freedom, a little bit more randomness and the way it sends you around and some new systems. But yeah,
they made it more accessible
Oblivion,
to those people who didn't play it back
so
in early.
accessible.
They made it more accessible to us who didn't play it back in the day.
Yeah, and it is just as exciting as Skyrim. And while I say it's a little bit more gamified, it still has almost everything Skyrim has.
And by
some
that
things
you
it
just
doesn't.
mean you can see the dice rolling more, or what?
That's what yeah, exactly. That you can feel the game structure. That when you talk to an NPC, it's usually going to be related to a quest only, or there's just a little bit less. I don't know. It's just more gamified. Yeah, you can see the walls and the rules and the if that then this more in Oblivion.
Right. Well, wasn't quite as sophisticated yet, but yeah, it still holds a place. I've been getting super nostalgic in my games recently, so fun to see that.
Love it. But that is it for the bits.
Out on the bits. All right, let's check in with some shouts on our way out the door. Who we got getting shouts tonight?
So the shout could be a bit in a way, but I just want to shout out my girl Wreck-It Renee is going to be doing the Axolotl Invitational, the first Axolotl Invitational, going to be happening June 7th and 8th after the fishing update releases. So Saturday, June 7th around 2 p.m. Eastern, and Sunday, June 8th around 6 p.m. Eastern. She's going to be streaming over on her channel, Wreck-It Renee,
that's
all one
great.
word. And yeah, fishing contest. She's been building some camps in different regions. Going to have a bunch of competitors. I will probably be at the Saturday one competing. A few of our friends are doing both or different days or what have you. So yeah, if you're interested in the first fish competition, she even got trophies made.
That's amazing.
She's getting trophies. It got a marble base, big old fish on top, like your classic fish trophy, and then it says
you're actually going fishing. You're not axolotl hunting or anything.
No, they'll be adding the axolotls as special rewards, but this is the Axolotl Invitational. I don't know her events yet. She hasn't told me everything about how she's going to do with it, so we'll see. But the trophy says Fallout 76 Master Baiter. Because she is 12. And I want that trophy because I also am.
Because you want the trophy.
Exactly.
That's great. All right. Well, check it out, everybody. June 7th and 8th for the Axolotl Invitational. And what else we got?
That's pretty much it. I just want to mention that Fallout is on their socials doing a photo mode challenge every Friday, or kind of photo mode ask. They're giving us a theme. We don't know them ahead, which makes it a little bit hard for people to participate. But they've been, around 11 or 11 a.m. to noon. They're posting up a little photo mode Friday Fallout challenge. The first one, they've had, the one they just did today was cryptids. They did one for aliens the week before. So they've been doing a bunch. Really fun. So, if you're someone into photo mode and you want a new picture, or just pull out an old picture, which is mostly what I've been doing because we don't, like I said, don't have advanced warning. Look for those posts every Friday. It's fun to share, and they're actually retweeting a few, and yeah, it's just a good time.
Fun. All right. Fallout Friday. Get your pictures together, folks. All right. Is there any other topics you all would like to bring up this evening on the show?
All good.
All good.
All right. Well, in that case, you can find him over there on the Twitters at RayLB. Also, if you are into No Man's Sky, please check out at BBCISSS for the Butcher Baker Candlemaker in Space. Ray, thanks so much for hopping on.
Good times.
Jess and all her many projects can be found at SleepIs4T. She also frequents Blue Sky and over there on our Discord. Ray likes to frequent the Discord as well. If you're interested in interacting with them, head on over there. Jess, thanks so much for hopping on.
Pickles on pizza is delicious.
Oh, it certainly is. Got a little bit of mustard on the sauce too. I can be found in the Facebook group, hanging out sometimes. Maybe I'll dip into the Discord every now and again. But the show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed. and we will see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrim-matic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Chum trough?
Oh my god, it happened finally, yes!
You don't do that in Fallout.